Are you sick and tired of watching Charizard EX dominate the ladder? Have you developed an acute fear of tiny flying lizards? Are you currently writing an angry post on r/PTCGL about the life of a Charizard player? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then today's video is for you. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Deck Cooking. My name is Josh Cito, and today I have a very special deck list featuring Serperior V and V-Star, engineered by my friend Drubble from my Discord, master shoutouts, to take down Charizard EX and send that lizard back from whence it came. So without further ado, let's break down this Charizard slaying deck. Alrighty, let's hop into a super quick deck profile of the Zard Slayer. So fundamentally, I mentioned that this is in fact an arc pile. If you are new to the game, you probably heard this before but don't know what it means, but it essentially uses Arceus V and V-Star to accelerate energy onto other V and V-Star Pokemon, such as Serperior V-Star, which is the star of the show in this deck. Serperior V-Star allows you to run the ability Regal Blender, which does 190 damage. However, when you're facing it against Charizard, it does 380 due to the weakness. This is a fantastic amount of damage, and it covers for Serperior V-Star's main weakness of usually not doing enough damage. Serperior V-Star's ability Regal Blender actually allows you to manipulate energy and rearrange them on any of your bench and active Pokemon in any way that you would like. The name of the game for this deck is flexibility. By allowing you these tools, you're able to play around your opponent's weaknesses and take out the W. Roaring Moon is fantastic if your opponent has a super tanky 480 Pokemon with like a cape or something. Frenzy Gouging takes it out in one shot. And of course, Iron Hands EX is the bane of all single prizer decks. The deck runs a Pidgeot EX 2/2 line for some consistency with the quick search ability, a Squawkabilly EX for some early draw, and an Energy Loto so that you can get that double turbo energy onto your Arceus V early on into the game. Anyways, that's enough chit chat for me. Let's head on to the ladder and win some W's. Hold up. Before we dive in, I gotta tell y'all about a giveaway that I'll be doing every single time when we release a video on YouTube. I'm gonna be picking one lucky winner in the comments below to receive 100 PTCGL codes and maybe some other cool Pokemon products as well. So make sure, if you like the type of content, to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the flippity flip. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. So the weakness of this deck, as I will mention a little bit later, is that it does have some issues dealing damage to things that are not Charizard EX. Of course, you don't have a massive OKO besides the Roaring Moon, which can get wrecked by Miss Energy. And also, if you're going to be using the V-Star power for Arceus Starbirth to search for cards, you are unable to use the Star Winder ability on the Serperior V-Star, which is basically do 60 for each energy attached, which does a lot of damage. So you have to be really careful with resources. And just in general, whenever you're playing a deck with this many moving parts, you have to be really careful with your resource management. Running only one Super Rod means that if I were to accidentally use it on something that I don't need to, it ends up being a massive waste and you're unable to get really key cards back into your deck. Just like any other arc pile, I'm actually pretty okay going first or second. If I go first, I get that Sweet Trinity charge. If I go second, I get that Trinity charge again with that Starbirth attack. Sorry. What I'm going to say is if I go first, I'm not going to be able to get Trinity Charge, but I will be able to attack with Arceus V-Star in the second turn. If I go second, I'll be able to Trinity Charge on my first turn, so it doesn't really matter. I'll be flexible. It looks like my opponent is playing Relicanth. It could be a Torracat Incineroar deck with the Gritty Claws. That could be pretty cool. I haven't actually played against it yet, although I did plan on making a video about it, but we'll see here. It looks like... Okay, so now I'm a little confused. We'll see what they're going to pull up with the Buddy Poppin'. I am very confused now. So it looks like it's going to be two rogue decks playing against each other. It's a Magnezone? Magnemite? I actually don't know. So we'll find out. I'm gonna go ahead and attach energy onto my Arceus. There's actually not much I can really do this turn. I'm just gonna go ahead and Trinity Charge, which will allow me to accelerate energy to my Serperior V. I really wish I would be able to get my Pidgey set up this turn, but unfortunately there's just nothing I can really do, which is fine. So I will Trinity Charge here and grab the energy that I need. I do have the Iron Hands EX, plus I do also have a future booster capsule. In the case they evolve this and I find what I need, it could be a pretty devastating turn. They end up hitting heads on the Crushing Hammer, so I don't actually know what is going on with this deck. This is really weird. A Crushing Hammer. It like kind of reminds me of Control, but at the same time doesn't. Yeah, I'm a little confused here. So they will Rare Candy for their Pidgeot EX, of course, with the quick search. So you're gonna have 2 search abilities this turn, one with quick search, and then one, of course, with the Forest Seal Stone. So could be scary. I mean, my opponent is setting up their board really quickly here, so it could be an accelerated game pace. They're gonna get another Crushing Hammer here, and this time they still hit tails. Unlucky for them, so but very lucky for me, because those double Crushing Hammers could have been a problem. They're gonna go ahead and get like my Roaring Moon EX. However, if I do have my Future Booster Capsule, oh my god, it is a 3rd Crushing Hammer, and they hit tails again. My opponent should go buy the opposite of a lottery ticket, because that is hella unlucky. 3 tails is honestly kind of ridiculous. You know what? I have no problems with it for me. I do have the Serperior VSTAR. I don't have my Arceus, which is annoying, but it is what it is. There's a few ways I can actually knock out the Pidgeot EX. I do have the Maximum Belt, so I might not even need to go for a Future Booster Capsule. I think that right now, I'm just gonna Power Edge. Honestly, it would be nice if I could get Arceus VSTAR here, but I don't think I need to overshow my hand here. Could boss for 2 prizes on the Rotom. But you know what? I think just going for the Power Edge is fine. Maybe I am playing a little bit too conservative here. Maybe that was a mistake. We'll see. Maybe that was actually a mistake, but I do have the Iron Hands in my hands. I'm not too worried, so we'll see what's gonna happen here. So my opponent does have the Pidgeot EX in the active spot now, which is of course totally fine. It will just retreat with its free retreat cost. The Relicanth, I'm trying to figure out what this Relicanth does. What this Memory Dive is for. They will end up airing me here. I don't have any item cards, so it does pretty much nothing for him. That was a waste of an airy. This feels very much like some sort of really weird control deck. I just have not seen this list ever. You know what? Maybe I could message my opponent after and yoink this list, because this could be, they could be cooking. They could be a PTCGL chef that I don't even know. Their Airy was a total flop. Their triple Crushing Hammer was also a total flop. So I am eating good tonight. They end up just instant charging here again. So maybe I should have got rid of the Rotom last turn, but it's okay. It's totally fine. Starwater right now does 240 plus the Maximum Belt, so I actually have enough damage to knock it out if I want to. You know what? I think that I will just go ahead and grab the Ultra Ball for the Arceus VSTAR and make it so that I will be able to do a VSTAR search next turn. Starbirth this turn if I need to. That means I can't get Nest Ball, but I think that's actually fine. I can grab Choice Belt, it doesn't really matter here. Choice Belt just so I could discard it. I'm gonna do this and this. Grab my Arceus here, put it onto my bench. I'm thinking, how much damage can I do? So with Starwinder, I will do 240, which means I'm not going to be able to actually Starbirth here, which is a trade-off. I think I want it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and just put the Serperior VSTAR in the active. With Maximum Belt, it will be enough to knock out the Pidgeot. I'm going to keep this Iron Hand secret for now. Let's just knock out Pidgeot and take our prizes here, and that is actually a big W for us. I feel like I probably should have put the Arceus in active, but it's fine. I have the energy and it should be okay. Next turn I'm just gonna get Arven. So they end up throwing their Magneton onto the active, and they're gonna Lost Vac away, I'm assuming, my Maximum Belt. That's another card that I feel like could be really good into this deck, is if I had a Lost Vac, which I don't run. You kind of need a Lost Vac in general. The format just feels really demanding without a Lost Vac, because there are so many strong item cards available in the meta with both the Maximum Belts, and they end up bosses ordering my Arceus. Okay, and they will Rare Candy this to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Oh god. Oh god. So Magnezone EX is actually going to murder me here, isn't it? Energy Crush is a lot of damage, so that is kind of scary. Okay, this is a pretty phenomenal counter into me. I did not see something like this coming. Obviously, Energy Crush allows them to do a significant amount of damage for all the energy that I have attached, which is going to be a lot. So I'm a little bit scared here. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and play tempo here. I'm going to attach and just go for something like an Iron Hands and threaten, just threaten a multiple prize turn. I'm going to boss his orders their draw engine. I'm going to actually just manually retreat here. And again, it really feels bad not finding the Pidgeot and having to use the Starwinder to knock out, but I think that it was the correct play. I am just going to attach... I am in a spot where if they bring up the mana zone and they boss me or they counter catch me, I'm going to be in a rough spot. If they don't, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a gamble here. I'm going to end up attaching one more energy onto the Magna Zone. That way, if I find a double turbo, I'll still be able to take the knockout. And if I don't, it's not a big deal to me. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully that was the right move, but okay, so I end up finding the Future Booster Capsule as well. So that is okay. I'm just praying that I didn't mess up here, because assuming they have a boss, I could be in trouble. Actually, I didn't even need to attach the Iron Hands. I was just starting to divest my energy a little bit here. So yeah, they will counter catcher, and they're gonna go for my Arceus instead. Interesting. And they get the Hero's Cape. Man, this guy is gonna be tanky. And the Iono, I mean, Ionoing me down to a singular card. Brutal. Actually brutal. And wow, that means I seriously cannot do anything for at least a couple of turns here. So I wonder if I messed up last turn by doing what I did, because that means I'm gonna need a boss for me to actually win this. Now, I do have a few bosses in my hand, in my deck, around 3. I wasn't too afraid, but this Magna Zone is an absolute freaking unit. And the Pokemon League headquarters is also going to reduce my ability to actually hit the Magna Zone. I'm in a weird spot right now where I cannot actually do much. I'm basically just passing my turn because I'm trapped with no energy and no cards in my hand and no draw. Not getting the Pidgey really messed me up. Getting a bunch of prize cards that were honestly not that valuable also kind of messed me up. Now the other thing, it's the one good thing, is my opponent is equally as messed up as I am. So there is a potential I just stall them out, but that is probably not likely to happen. So I'm gonna need, the thing is, I need so many moving parts here. I need to be able to touch energy my Serperior. I need to be able to get a switch. I need to be able to find the Roaring Moon and then attack with Serperior for one turn. And I end up finding the Arven this turn, which is just what the doctor, aka me, ordered. And I think I do have everything I need, all the parts I need for a play here. Do I actually have, no, do I have boss orders in here? Okay, so I have 2. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. This is pretty much everything I needed to actually get the knockout. My Future Booster Capsule is so valuable here. How much do I have in here anyways? You know what? This Future Booster Capsule is gonna go the way of the dodo. Let's just go ahead and grab the Pidgeot EX, and I will have the Rare Candy here as well. Throw that on there. I'm going to go ahead and Super Rod this turn. Might as well get the energy back into my deck and grab myself a nice Professor's Research. Wait, I probably could have just won this game. I probably sequenced this badly, but it's fine. It's fine. Let's go ahead and Professor's Research here. I forgot that I played Arven already, so that Professor's Research is completely useless. What the heck am I doing? I feel like there is definitely a world where I probably could have just won this turn, but I'm running it down. Either way, it's fine. I am really only looking for a double turbo energy. If I get a double turbo energy or a switch would be really great too. But so I need a couple of cards here for lethal this time. I need a boss's orders. That's not a boss's orders. Nope, that is most definitely not a boss's orders. You know what? I keep saying, you know what? Like, I'm gonna say something profound. I have nothing profound to say. Let's just Professor's Research here. I have the Roaring Moon. Perfect. I do have the Roaring Moon, and I will also have the Heavy Ball to check out. Okay, it was actually Pidgeot. Well, quick search here for the switch, which I do still have. Yes, I do. We are going to switch the Serperior into the active spot here, and I'm gonna Regal Blender, do the damage I need to do, and I'm gonna attach some energy onto my Roaring Moon. We'll do 1, 2, and 3 onto that. I honestly think that I'm in a pretty good spot. Let me see what I'm gonna attach 1 more to that, and then that should be fine. Because with a double turbo, I can retreat either of them. This is for retreat cost, this is for retreat cost. And now they are going to be in essentially lethal range. I do realize they have the Pokemon League's headquarters here, but I think that it's fine. I'm gonna turn the Magna Zone and get a Pidgey here. Okay, I think that I'm good. Yeah, with the boss's orders, I am not in danger of losing. I will just retreat, bring this up, and go with the Frenzy Gouging, and it's gonna be GG. So I think that overall, this was a pretty strong showing. However, I didn't really get to showcase the deck that much because my opponent was playing some weird spaghetti pile, man. I don't even know. Magna Zone, triple crushing hammer, airy control. I don't even Relicanth. I don't know what they were cooking. They were cooking something. Maybe they were recording a YouTube video as well. All right. Zeke Rose, this guy is definitely playing Charizard. This is the matchup. I'm bringing it home. This is definitely the Zard matchup, guys. I feel it in my bones. I'm gonna go first. Hope we get those Evo Pokemon and the ball rolling. Rage, we play against a Charizard. Unfortunately, a rough hand, but it's fine. Come on, come on. Charizard, Charizard, please. One Charizard, please. Let's see. Let's go. It's finally a Charizard. I've been hunting all night for this matchup. This is the big Kahuna Matata. And that I don't even know what I'm saying, but I think that this is it. If we can get a W on the Charizard, it'll be phenomenal. Unfortunately, I had a rough start here with the Arceus not in the active spot, so like this is kind of bad, but hopefully I'm able to find the Arceus V-Star next turn and get the switch out. I'm debating if I should put the Serperior V down now, and you know what? I'm gonna put it down. Let this guy know that the Grass Snake is coming after him. If we pull the W, then I'm gonna officially dub this deck as the Charizard Slayer. My opponent's gonna get set up as well. Likely gonna go for a Pidgey here, no, or the Rotom, sorry, forgot about that, the Rotom here, and go for an instant charge. So we're gonna see if it does work out there. They do Arven here as well. They go for the Buddy Wave Hop in. They go for the Forest Field. So my opponent definitely knows what to do because Charizard is broken. The copy pasta is real, man. This card, 330 HP, dark typing, terrestrialize, can't take damage on bench, has a bunch of supporters, accelerates energy for itself. Charizard is a menace. It's a menace in this format, and we're stuck with it for another 2 years. So hopefully Serperior V can be an answer to the Fire Lizard here, assuming they are just going to instant charge this turn. There's not much they can do anyways. That is totally fine. I am okay with that. I could Arven them and gamble that I get a DTE of some sort and, you know, and Prage, but I think that the more consistent play is that I just Arven. Yeah, I'm just gonna Arven them and grab what I need here to actually play, and what that is going to be, of course, the Ultra Ball. I'm just gonna grab this Maximum Belt for fun as well. We are going to Ultra Ball away both of these two things here, and I'm gonna grab my Arceus V-Star. I'm also going to just evolve it this turn. I will be able to get that Starbirth out. I guess what I really want is a Pidgeot EX plus a Rare Candy. Now, what I'm slightly afraid about is the potential that my opponent is able to knock out my Serperior V with a countercatcher play. I'm actually really worried about that because if that does happen, I will be in a spot where I can't actually answer. If my Serperior V gets knocked out, then I don't do enough damage against Zard to really take prizes. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to quick search here. I'm going to look for the double turbo, and instead of, yeah, so I'm going to look for the double turbo, but instead of attacking, I'm just going to not. I'm going to attach to my Arceus. I'm going to retreat and bring the Arceus into the active spot, but instead of attacking, I'm just gonna let him have a free turn and get set up, because the main thing here is I don't actually have a Gust option for the Pidgey anyways, which is what I would want to target. If I actually go ahead and Trinity Nova this turn, I'm just really afraid that he's gonna be able to pull up on me with a Charizard and just wreck me. So I'm actually gonna end turn. That means at least next turn the Charizard, even if it does come down, and I'm assuming it will come down, I'm not going to get knocked out because I really need my Serperior V-Stars to start doing work here. They will have the Pidgeot EX. They do also have the Rare Candy, so it would have been nice for me to Iono them last turn, but you know, it was unrealistic for that to happen because I really needed the Arven for consistency. So they will quick search as well, probably look for a Rare Candy or a Zard if they whatever puzzle piece that they're missing, and get the Zard down this turn, which is going to be annoying to deal with. The other part is I actually already used my Starbirth, which means I'm not going to be able to hit the Pidgeot next turn, which is going to be a little bit rough. And when I say hit the Pidgeot, I mean I'm not going to be able to knock out the Pidgeot with Solar Beam or the upgraded version on the Serperior V-Star. You know, this is a little bit tough because I am in a spot where I am essentially guaranteed to get knocked out and be down in prizes against Zard. And Zard is a late game deck. If you're down in prizes against Zard, you are in a very rough spot. It's rough. It was damn if you do, damn if you don't. If I took the knockout last turn, he could have potentially counter-captured up my Serperior V and I would have been cooked. By not taking the knockout last turn, I essentially have to waste a turn accelerating energy onto my Serperior V and I'm probably still cooked. It is what it is. Sometimes there isn't any winning. And this is a great example of that. So they're going to buddy pop in here. Pretty standard play. What I might want to do is like knock out their Bear. Oh, the Bidoof could be a potential target. Bidoof could be a potential target. So they are going to Burning Darkness there and do 180 damage to my Arceus, which puts it in lethal range next turn. I really wish I just had a Nest Ball last turn. It would have made my life so much easier. But it is what it is. What I'm going to do now is quick search here, grab my Serperior VSTAR, and I'm going to do that really quickly. I think what I want to do is just boss this, knock out the barrel right now so that at least I don't have to deal with that. It puts me on a weird prize map, but I do have a plan to knock out the Pidgeot EX with an Iron Hands anyways. I feel like this is actually fine. Regardless, my Arceus was going to get knocked out no matter what. So it's not, this doesn't really matter what I do here. We'll do this, we'll do that. And it puts me on a weird prize map, but I will have the Roaring Moon to knock out the Pidgeot if I need to later. This Squawkabilly EX is so useless here. It would be really cool if I could find myself the Iron Hands, but I don't think that is going to be happening this turn anytime soon. It is what it is. And it looks like with the Arven, they're going to get 2 Zards on the field, which is very scary. And they're going to get the Prime Catcher as well. The prize map here for me is probably going to have to be a Iron Hands play at some point. I would love to Iron Hands that Pidgeot on their bench. The really big issue is because this person has a Pidgeot already active, they are essentially guaranteed to be able to knock me out at any point that they want. Yeah, that kind of sucks, because they can always boss whatever I'm trying to develop. But maybe I'll be okay, potentially. Opium, I'm gonna attach. Yeah, I mean, 380 is enough to knock it out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the Iono as well. Wait, where's my Iron Hands? Is it my Iron Hands is in the discard pile? Oh, that's not good. That is definitely not good. Well, okay, so regardless here, I'm gonna take the knockout with Regal Blender, and I'm gonna add this energy onto this energy onto that. Regardless, I have both these set up for next turn. The Charizard will come around and knock this out, but I will take the prize off of it in the trade, so it should be okay. He is likely going to look to set up another Charmander this turn, or Radiant Zard. There's the Buddy Poppin'. No surprise there, although he has gone through 2 rare candies already. We'll see if I end up knocking the Pidgeot, if I can get away with it. Another problem is, like, if I'm down 2 prizes already, maybe benching the Roaring Moon was a mistake, because I mean, if they have boss orders, I'm kind of in trouble. It could have been that benching the Roaring Moon was a mistake, but I just really want to get rid of its Pidgeot as soon as possible. If Pidgeot is gone, then the thorn in my side is also gone. So let's see if we're able to actually play around it. So they end up Roxanning me. Absolutely brutal Roxanne. That is, wow. I mean, well played to my opponent. It was a pretty obvious move still, but like, gosh darn, that sucks. I didn't even consider being the fact that I was in Roxanne range last turn. That was definitely not the greatest. However, it seems like my opponent is bricking harder than I am, so that is actually splendid. In this particular case, I'm trying to think about what I really want to get. I could go for just a knockout on the Charmander, but that means my Serperior Vs will be in lethal range. I really want to boss this, but I just don't have the energy to attack this turn because of that Roxanne. I'm actually going to quick search here and grab the energy for my Roaring Moon, and I'm going to put this onto my Roaring Moon here. I'm going to actually just do this, retreat, and put my Roaring Moon into the active slot and really hamper their ability to actually get the cards that they need, because they brick last turn even with the Pidgeot, so that Roxanne was not kind to them at all. I'm going to go ahead and Frenzied Gouging right now, the knockout here, and put myself in a 1 prize situation from winning the game here. I'm very happy with those sequence of events, because now they're going to be in a spot where they really need to get another Pidgeot active, or they're going to need a rare candy, their Charmander, and the odds of them having 2 probably low, because last time they did nothing. So they will rare candy. They end up rare candying the Charizard. I'm surprised they didn't just do that last turn. I don't know why, unless they top decked it. If they top decked it, then that's just crazy luck. What are they going to do here? So they do end up putting energy on the Pidgey, putting Zard in the active, but they know that if the Zard is in the active, I will knock it out with the Serperior next turn. And I'm smiling right now because it looks like their days are numbered. The Iono does nothing to me because I do have Pidgeot in my hand. Unless they have a boss's orders here and they go for my Pidgeot. Actually, even if they do that, I still win because I have Roaring Moon. So I think I put them in a Zug Swing situation where it's pretty much checkmate. I am really happy because if I do pull this W, this deck is officially the Zard Slayer. Let's see what they're gonna do here. They do retreat the Pidgey. They will bring the Zard up. They will knock me out. I will promote my Serperior V-Star onto the active, and if I count it right, I should have the energy to actually knock it out this turn. I'm going to quick search for it, and I think that I am, as the kids say nowadays, absolutely being chilling. I grab the energy and I'm gonna go for that Regal Bender, knocking out the Zard and finally slaying this annoying fire lizard. Everybody, 07 for the Zard. We are gonna pick this W and wrap it up. Let's go. I'm really happy with that win. I know my opponent did brick on one of those turns. You know, getting a W against a Zard, it just feels so good. I've lost so many times into Charizard, more than I can possibly count. So I'm really happy with that one. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the deck as a quick wrap up here. Overall, I'm really happy with the deck when I'm playing against Charizard. However, I think that this deck does struggle a lot against other meta decks right now. I think that it will get eaten alive by anything turbo. So like Future Box is gonna wreck this deck. I think that Champal walk in the park for it as well. And fundamentally, it boils down to the same problems I talked about earlier. Serperior V-Star just does not do enough damage with Regal Bender. Even with like a Maximum Belt, if you're playing against something like Golden Go, you're still not doing enough damage. And the other thing is, you are also behind on tempo. And what I mean by that is, in a meta where a lot of cards are just one-shotting each other, right? Like Giratina V-Star, Charizard, Champal one-shotting, like Golden Goal one-shotting. You're not doing enough damage where you can justify spending a turn essentially powering up your Pokemon with Regal Bender. That's the big hard part that it's hard for me to get around, because regardless, if my opponent is set up on their board and I don't have some really strong disrupt, I do have to swallow a turn for Regal Bender in order for me to manipulate my energy and put them on the Pokemon that I actually want. The other thing here is, when I'm doing something like that, it's also putting a massive target on the Pokemon that I am powering up. Again, in a meta where Counter Catcher is pretty much in every single deck and Prime Catcher is the strongest ace spec, it's really hard to justify wasting a turn powering up and basically putting a giant marker on the Pokemon that you are powering up. Having said that, I think that this deck is still super great against Charizard in particular, just because of how great Serperior V-Star is. The fact that you have to use Regal Blender to power Pokemon doesn't matter at all, because Regal Blender is a one-shot KO against Charizard. I do think if I were to look at this deck again, I would re-add the Super Rods to run 2-2 Super Rod, maybe. I think that a Lost Vac would be really great because it's pretty much mandatory in this format. Lost Vacuum is so important when you have really powerful item cards such as Future Booster Capsule, Ancient Booster Capsule, and Maximum Belt. And lastly, I think that it does need some way to heal your Pokemon, like maybe a Turo to switch things out. All in all, I think that the deck is still really fun. It kind of reminds me of like a Towards list where it's like a toolbox and every game is like a puzzle, because it does have a lot of tools to succeed. It just lacks that tempo and momentum. If Serperior did like 220 damage or had like 290 HP, it would be super broken. But at the 190 damage threshold, it just doesn't hit enough to really justify playing it over a meta deck. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope you guys get some games in with the Zard Slayer, and I hope you put that fire lizard in the dirt. Until next time, stay safe and have fun climbing the ladder. Peace!